At the Cornea Impression, we like to empower creators. That means we want you on our channel, not only on the website but on our social media feeds. So we like the fact that you are a creator and can contribute to us. That way you benefit and we benefit. Adding more creators to the platform is a true success story, and we have 2 new creators on the platform. You will be seeing videos from Bhuvan Chowdhary, who's based out of Pune in India, and he will be reviewing cars for the Cornea Impression and writing about them on the website as well. So here is Bhuvan Chowdhary with his first review on our channel with the BMW 220 diesel.
Hello and welcome to the Cornea Impression. My name is Bhuvan and today I'm going to be taking you guys on a tour and an experience of the BMW 220d. Now the BMW 220d isn't exactly a brand new car or a brand new launch from BMW, but it's been around for about 2 years. That said though, earlier I did a review and I tested out the M Sport version, while this is the regular 220d. Not much has changed between both the cars, but there are a few subtle differences that do make a difference. Now since this thing is called the 220d, that means that it sits below the 3 Series. It sits below the 3 Series both in its size as well as its price. And there is a lot unconventional about this entry-level premium sedan from BMW. The most unconventional thing about the 220d is that this is a front wheel drive. Now front wheel drives aren't exactly new to the BMW lineup. There are cars like the X1 which is also a front wheel drive, but this car is the first sedan in India which is on a front wheel drive setup. The reason behind that is that this car uses the same UKL platform, the same platform which is also used with the Mini Cooper as well as the X1. That is the reason why this is a front wheel drive car. Now I know that design of a car is a very subjective topic. It is something that changes perspective depending on who you are asking about. That said though, according to me, I think the 220d actually is a very good looking car. It's got the right shape, it's got the right edges, it's got the right lines to represent itself as a BMW. Other than that, the silhouette of the car looks really nice. The biggest difference between the M Sport and this car is the M Sport gets 18-inch alloys while this gets 17-inch alloys, and that is quite important especially for India because the 17-inch alloys actually come with a 45 profile tire while the 18s come with a 40 profile tire. That means that there are more chances of you actually going into a bad pothole and damaging your tire. With this, you are a lot more safer. Over here at the front also, I kind of like the design of the car. It actually looks quite aggressive, especially with the sleek headlights as well as the signature BMW kidney grille. Those two elements combined with the shape of the bumper give it a very aggressive stance when looking from the front. At the back as well, things are quite sleek and aggressively styled. One of my favorite parts about this car is the sleek wrapped around tail lamps which look really good especially at night. And another point to note about this car is that the 220d actually has twin exhausts at the back, both of which are real, not like the fake exhausts that some companies make nowadays. So I guess in the overall design department, BMW has done a really good job keeping the car balanced on both ends as well as give it a very nice and sleek side silhouette. And BMW hasn't stopped with the styling over there because this car, despite being an entry-level premium sedan, still comes with frameless windows. On the inside as well, the 2 Series feels really nice and premium. There's a great combination of soft touch materials as well as leatherettes, which kind of give the entire cabin a very premium appeal. That said, however, there are a few places where you feel that the plastics that have been used could have been of slightly higher quality. For example, the speaker grills do feel a little plasticky and they leave a little bit more to be desired. Then one of my biggest qualms with modern day cars, premium cars especially, is the glossy center console, the piano black console. It's not at all one of my favorite things because first of all, it catches a lot of fingerprints and over time you know that there are going to be a lot of scratches on them. Another thing that I am not a big fan of is the instrument cluster. The instrument cluster I feel is a little small for this kind of a car. That said, it is helpful in understanding and giving you all the information in a glance. It's the standard BMW layout, so not much is wrong over there. That said though, it does feel a little small. In terms of sound insulation also, the 2 Series does its job very well, where you hardly feel or hear a lot of noises from the outside. That said though, I feel the sound insulation could have been a little better, especially on two fronts. One is cutting out the outside noises from coming on the inside. Don't get me wrong, it does eliminate almost 80 to 90% of all the road noise, the traffic and the honking around you, but some of it does get through. And the second place where I think the sound insulation could have been a little bit better is with the engine. Now this is the same 2-liter 4-cylinder engine that you will find in the X1 as well as the 320D also. It's a really nice unit in terms of its power and performance, where this car also gets the same power and torque rating as the 320D. That said, however, I do feel that the sound dampening from the engine is a little less, and the diesel engine clatter does get onto the inside. In terms of its overall features, this car is pretty nicely spec'd up, as you would expect from a car in this particular segment. You have automatic windscreen wipers, you have automatic headlights, then you have a very nice touchscreen in the center which will help you go through all your different settings, options, navigations, etc. And also BMW's signature iDrive, which resides on the center console to help you navigate through them all. You also get decent space over here for 2 cup holders. You've got decently sized door pockets as well, and you also have additional storage as a small cubby holder over here under the central armrest. The car also gets dual zone climate control, but the one thing which I think should have been there but is missing from this car is a wireless charging pad. So that was a look at the BMW 220D from the front seat and the driver perspective. Now I am going to quickly hop back and see how the seats at the back are. The 2 Series is a kind of car which is mostly designed or developed around people who are either single or people who are just married, basically young couples. I don't think this car is particularly aimed towards like a big family, a family of 4 or 5 or probably more, and that is the reason why the rear seats also do get a little less space and a little less attention as well. The first thing that you would notice is that this by far is the smallest rear door that I have ever seen on a BMW car. What that means is when you open it, there is a lot less room for you to ingress and go into the car. You have to literally slouch down a lot to get back over here. Now in general, back here things aren't uncomfortable by any means. The seat currently is set to my height, which is 5'8", and I still have a decent amount of legroom. In terms of headroom also, what they've done is they've carved out the roof liner, which gives you additional headroom on top as well. But that is for a person of my height. If you're taller, it's going to be a little cramped and a little challenging being comfortable back here. In terms of my overall posture, I feel that I'm sitting very straight up. It's not that it's bad back here, but at the same time, it's nothing great as well. In terms of what you do get back here, there's not much. There are 2 USB-C ports in the center console. There are 2 air conditioning vents. There are 2 power windows on the side, and that's pretty much it. So in short, this is more of a car for the person who is driving and his co-passenger, and not so much for someone who wants to sit behind over here all the time. For that, probably the 320 with the extended wheelbase would be a better option. So now let's get to the meat and potatoes of what a BMW experience is all about, and that is driving this car. So let's go. The first thing that you would notice when you start driving this car is that it is still incredibly refined. That diesel engine, while it's running, does not make any sound. The damping, as I said, is pretty decent over here on the inside. Some of it does get through, but it is definitely by no means a deal breaker. So currently I'm driving over a bad surface, and that's the reason why I have kept the car on its comfort settings. What that means is the suspensions, the engine response, as well as the steering have all been tuned to comfort. The steering becomes much more lighter and easily maneuverable. But the good part is that even on a road like this, which is completely unpaved, and it's got undulations all over it, it's got potholes, it's got rocks everywhere, and it's got sharp edges, the car and its suspensions are still maintaining a great composure in terms of the way they are keeping me comfortable over here on the inside. I don't feel any of the jerk or any of the jitter coming in, or the suspensions being or feeling crashy as well. Alright, I am on a good twisty section of tarmac. And now is the time to put this car on sport mode and see how things go. First thing you notice is under hard acceleration from standstill, there is a little bit of torque steer, but I am really impressed how well BMW has set up the chassis as well as the front axles to eliminate most of that torque steer, where you just feel a little bit of twitch in the steering, and that's about it. In this setting, the steering gets a lot more weighty, the suspensions get a lot more stiffer, as well as the transmission and engine become way more responsive to your throttle inputs. And all of that is immediately visual in the way the car starts dynamically changing itself from corner to corner. That said though, the steering still doesn't get as heavy as you would probably want it to. It's still quite precise in the way it points you in the right direction, and you can kind of understand and get a feel what's going on underneath with the wheels and the grip. But at the same time, it definitely does feel odd because this is a BMW, and a BMW, you are particularly not used to situations where you find the front wheels squirmy, you find the front wheels trying to wash out. It does not wash out in this, but it does give you that power at the front, traction at the front, front wheel drive kind of a feel. And even under hard acceleration and cornering, the front does not wash out. That is something really, really special. The way it makes you feel, the way the front sticks, even under really hard cornering, it's quite impressive. There's very little drama in the way the tires squeal or screech. Not much of that is going around over here. It just keeps gripping, keeps gripping, keeps gripping. And I know, although being a front wheel drive, it does give you that front wheel drive feel where you start feeling the tires coming under stress from the constant torque, acceleration, as well as turning. They have to do too much. Even though all of that is going on, the car still manages its composure, it still manages its balance and ensures that you get out of the corner as smoothly and as cleanly as you can. It feels light, it feels very nimble, and it feels very, very manageable even under high speeds and high stress and hard acceleration conditions. Okay, so here's the thing. What I believe is that BMW has actually made a fun, decently comfortable and fast car, especially a sedan, and I'm not too surprised by that because BMW owns Mini, and Mini has the same platform as this car, so they know how to make a small, fun, fast car. The problem with this car is not its performance or its comfort or its feature set, because all of those things are great. The problem that I have with this car is its pricing, because in India this car is launched starting at about 41 lakhs. Now if you pay another 6 lakhs on top, you would basically get the 320D, which basically has the same engine, the same power output, has a lot more space, and in general is a bigger car. Most importantly though, it's rear wheel drive, a hallmark of BMW engineering. So now you tell me, what would you be doing? If you had the option, would you buy the 220D, or would you rather pay 5 to 6 lakh rupees more and get the 320D? Let me know down in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'm going to catch you in the next one. Till then, goodbye.